All right. I want to watch this first. We're going to have a nice little ship talk. We're going to talk about all the new ships and vehicles and that was brought about on this new ship sale with IAE. But first, let's watch our friend here, Zark Media, give us a little update, and then we will roll into talking about these different ships and talking about what I think about them, price points, should you get it, shouldn't you get it, positives, negatives, this type of thing. We'll make it very interactive here because I really want you guys' opinions on these as well. I think it's going to be great for people watching on YouTube as well. And I would love to see comments down below and just get a whole idea of what you guys think overall. Like, not just like the exterior and the design and the aesthetic of it, but also like the functionality, utility of the vehicle as well. So let's get going. Let's watch our friend Zark here.
Since last Friday, visitors to Microtech have been able to explore most of the ships available by manufacturers from all around the galaxy. And in case you missed it, our reporter Mason Watts has spent the week cherry-picking the important bits. This is the 2951 Intergalactic Aerospace Expo, boiled down to a few minutes. Mason?
Thank you, Oliver. This has certainly been an interesting week, with manufacturers treating us to surprises, as well as wrapping up old projects. One example, of course, being the Redeemer. This Navy gunship from Aegis was supposed to see deployments in 2946, but has since then been in the hands of military test squadrons as the initial ship design was plagued with technical issues. Argo unveiled their new cargo ship, the Argo Raft, right here on the showroom floor. Crusader Industries managed to finish their Ares project, providing mercenaries and private military with single-seat fighters featuring capital ship-sized weapons. And last but certainly not least, MISC displayed a new exploration ship down in the Holoviewer called the Odyssey, which, with its onboard refinery and heavy mining equipment, is focusing heavily on being self-sufficient. During the Expo, Microtech treated visitors with great weather and an all-in-all calm and clean event, except for visitors to Drake's showroom floor, where a Cutlass model's fuse box shorted and caused a massive explosion. Microtech security is still investigating the debris and is, as of now,
we saw that earlier on the morning stream. That was really funny, actually.
The Best in Show event is now ongoing, and if you're the owner of any of the final 4 ships, don't forget to try out your complimentary rewards, including ship liveries, clothing, and equipment. This has been a great week, and wherever the Expo takes you next year, you'll find us there. For Stanton Today, I'm Mason Watts.
Very cool. Go over there, subscribe, and like this video, and tell them, hey, DG360 sent you, because they're doing really cool shit over at Zark, and they need more support. And I love this. I love it. I love the format. I love that, like, they update us on things in a cool news style. Definitely dig the channel. But let's talk about what we have here on the platter. First off, I really like this. I really like the Spartan. We're going to be putting this in the giveaway. We're also putting an Endeavor in the giveaway, and that video is going to come out Saturday. Thank you, Saint Grizz. Hallowed be his name. Saint Grizz to the rescue. Pushes a fucking Endeavor medical class Endeavor into the fucking pot for a giveaway this December. Is that not amazing or what? This man is a beast. Anyhow, the Spartan, I like it. I love the ground game. Like, me personally, definitely always feel like the action is real intense on the ground. Love air-ground combat, ground-air combat. Absolutely love it. And I think the Spartan feels a very important role, and I hope that the armor is as intense and heavy as the brochure states. I really hope as armor develops and hit points, you know, they're talking about the balancing of armor, that this one gets a serious buff, so that, like, if this thing were to get hit from above, it could handle a few hits. Now, I have not seen any testing on the Spartan. I really would like to see content creators start doing tests on how much damage the Spartan can take. And I don't know if any of you watching right now have done testing like this, but if you have, please put it in our Discord and let me know, because I would love to see, like, how much damage this bad boy can take. $65. Definitely think it's worth the value. Love that the turret spins 360. You know, DG360, but love the fact that it's flat up top, and if anybody tries to get up top, they're just going to get mowed down. Think $65 for this is a pretty good value. Again, if you don't have the discretionary money, don't do it. Don't worry about it. You know, just wait, get it in game. Didn't they show a clip where a Moab didn't break it? I don't know, Ostentatious. If you guys have any of those clips, again, go to the Discord and put that down. But definitely love the fact that there's a port side, starboard side, aft door on all of this. Like basically, you've got every direction this unloads. I like that the gun is slave to the driver. There's one driver on this. However, I did get reports from a lot of members in my organization saying that it was a little sloppy and a little hard to control, being that you're driving and the gun slave at the same time. So that might be an issue going forward, and some type of perhaps look at this by the developers to make it a little less sloppy might be in order. I don't know, haven't tried it myself. That's just what I've heard from some of the members in my organization. The next ship coming out here, the Raft. Now, the Raft's getting a lot of heat. A lot of people poo-pooing the Raft, but one of the things I really like about this ship is that, and again, this is theory crafting, but in my mind, I think this is a perfect pirate vessel for stripping containers off of a hull. So in the future, what I would like to see is essentially this being like a leech going up on a hull and just stripping off cargo containers. I would love to have just like a fleet of these motherfuckers coming in. I would like escorting fighters coming in. Doesn't even have to be a big squad. Doesn't even really have to be a big squad. I mean, little expense being put onto this. And I would love just like a real quick hit and run. Like a nice fucking quick hit and run with these would be awesome. Bane saying thick armor. I think Argo is going to be notorious for like thick armor, and again, I think it's a perfect kind of ship to be on a small hit and run or a large hit and run operation. You just strip these fucking containers off the larger ships, man. And that is going to be really cool gameplay. Imagine no player cap. Okay, imagine dynamic server meshing hits, right? No player caps. Now imagine your fleet sizes, okay? Imagine multiple hulls, different class hulls with exterior cargo mods. Now imagine just the amount of action that there's going to be in all forms, right? You're going to have squads coming up with the Raft coming out, trying to strip the fucking cargo containers off. You're going to have ships that are like escorting these, making sure that they stay safe and all that booty stays safe, And it doesn't have to be just pirates. It could be a military operation too. If you're going up against an organization that you're in war with, you got all this action going on right now, right? Just imagine. Perhaps you might even want to board a couple of these ships, so you've got so many different things in play that really brings about kind of gameplay that I don't think's ever been done before. If in fact we can get no player caps, if dynamic server meshing works the way it's intended to, and we can have like these epic battles, I think this would be so cool seeing like all these little orange fucking rafts or whatever skin color, but just ripping off these cargo modules and pop because they get blown up by the defenders and some like escape. I mean that would be fucking cool. So like, in my mind, while some people are poo-pooing this because they're like, oh, it's just not like a great freighter, oh, it's not a great ship for transporting, I wouldn't pick this, I'm going to stick with the cat, blah, blah, blah. I think they're not really looking into this type of gameplay. I don't think they're like kind of looking at this as a vehicle that's going to come in and just strip these fucking cargo containers off of a hull. So again, this might not happen. This might not ever be able to happen. But like in my mind, it's something like, I know a lot of people from Cloud Imperium watch a channel. I know a lot of people listen to the discussion. I know some of them love the theory craft when we start talking about like this, because not a lot of other channels do this. So some things we've talked about on the channel, they've come true, especially in ship design. So I would definitely love to see this type of capability with this ship, and then I would give it like my approval. The price point on it's $125 right now in its current format. I don't know if it's worth it right now, but in the future, like once the game's in, I'm down for it if it can do what we're talking about. All right, next on the platter, let's see what we've got. Boom. The Liberator. Now, I don't like this. I don't like the Liberator. Like, there are people that are going to disagree with me. One, it's Anvil, so it's not looking to be flashy. Okay? They're describing it as a light carrier. I don't think I would describe this as a light carrier. I like they're saying, hey, this is a light carrier. I don't think I'd even put it in the class of light carrier personally. This is a very glamorized transport ship, like a large transport ship, but I don't think I would call this a light carrier, at least until I get a little bit more, design and maybe scope of this ship. I don't like that the top's open. What King says Liberator is also on the progress tracker. Give me a date on that, King. What are they saying on that, by the way? Soria says she's not pretty, but she'll be the core of a pirate raider team when Pyro comes up. Perhaps it'll be much more utilitarian, Sorial. Perhaps it'll play a role to be like in and out functional, get units to where they need to go. But I'm not quite sure if it's only carrying 2 ships, if I would even classify it as a light carrier. You know what I mean? Like I think this is an overhyped, over glamorized transport. But like I wouldn't think that if the price point was lower. Like if the price point was around $300, maybe I'd be a little bit more in line with thinking like there's some type of utility with this. This channel gives me tingles in your pants. Good. I'm glad that your no spot is rather engaged. Thank you, Damon. So, for me, I just think it's too much. For me, I don't like the price point. And I don't think that it's worth my money. And I think you could do... I would like to see another design. I like the idea of what they're trying to do. I just don't like the design of the ship, not just the exterior, but with the utility of the ship as well. I want it to carry a little bit more. They're again, light carrier. I don't know. Soriel says the ability to refuel, granted limited, and save the fuel on our fighters will be invaluable. That is true. Plus booty storage. What kind of SCU are we talking about on this? Let's see if it's down in here. Usually they have it down below. 400. Holy shit. Wait a second. 122 meters length, 68 width. 400. Holy shit. That's a bit. So you got me a little bit more juiced up, but I still think like 500, not quite sure. Not quite sure yet. I got to see it in action. You know what I mean? I got to see it in action. Yeah, it's freaking ugly, but it's Anvil. You know what I mean? It's definitely like military grade. It's not supposed to look flashy. I respect that about Anvil. Like an Anvil ship is like, So I don't know. Still too pricey for me. None of this take an Ursa and dump your cargo bullshit. That's true. This will perform an interesting portion of gameplay that you currently aren't able to get, or that you do have now, but it's just so shitty right now, right, Soriel? And then the Odyssey. Now, we just saw this on Inside Star Citizen. I want to go over some of this with you guys. I want to see like the top. You see in your gravity generator right there. That quite interesting. The refinery being able to actually have Quantanium refined and be able to be used in space essentially makes this like a roving spaceship in space forever. You could literally fly this thing forever and not have to worry about landing or docking anywhere. It's much bigger than I originally thought it was initially. And also, it is growing on me a little bit. I still don't like the fact that all these MISC ships have this really ugly adult toy look about them. I do like that they combine the Xi'an tech in the MISC ships, but like for me, it's like Xi'an or GTFO. You know what I'm saying? Like if the outside of this looked like Xi'an in design, I'd be fucking sold. But it just looks so goddamn ugly. I go for looks a little bit sometimes, And then you have your main elevator, which is cool that I totally missed. Very cool. Ostentatious says 2 refineries, one for Quantanium and one for hydrogen. That's awesome. Tech says the Odyssey feels like the ultimate small org base ship. It does. It really does. You know, they classified this a lot on Info Runners, and Execute, my friend there, was classifying this as a surveyor. But essentially, this is like a fucking star base, dude, floating out there, able to like be self-sufficient. And to me, man, that's worth it. $700, and now I know why. Because like that's pretty invaluable. I think it's the only ship right now currently that has this capability. So to me that's pretty invaluable. If there's a Star Citizen TV show, I hope it's set on this ship. That would be cool, dude. Let's go down to the main deck here. And this is a lot what this is primarily what they showed on Inside Star Citizen, but you have your bridge, nothing fancy. Component access for repairs and modifications. That's quite interesting. Remote weapon stations. There's your elevator again. Escape pods. Crew quarters. Should be interesting once we get functional escape pods and see exactly how those are going to work. Now that they're talking about having gravity guns being mounted onto ships, and that becoming a reality, I think that'll play right in the hands of like functioning space escape pods. So that should be quite interesting gameplay. Imagine your escape pod having like a beacon of sorts so that you can be found. That would be neat. Here you've got full galley and common room. And you know what would be cool is like automatically have a beacon set out for all escape pods. Damn, Explodo. Thank you so much. Thank you, Damon. Thank you, Explodo. I love when some actionable alerts go off. Thank you. Gets me all spicy. You know what I'd really like for these escape pods is when they're in use and you eject and you're out in the abyss of space, these things automatically have like a beacon set so that like anybody can locate an escape pod, or only those designated that you want to be to reveal the location of the escape pod can then see your escape pod. That'd be cool, like some type of identification of sorts, some type of identification code. That would be awesome if you could assign this code and then you give it to like an organization that does rescue. That would be really fucking cool gameplay. So you like each has its own identification code on each escape pod, or perhaps the ship itself gets assigned a code, and then all escape pods have that code, and that code can be given to any organization that you have a contract with where you need some fucking help for them to pick you up with the new gravity gun coming out and just basically pull you inside their ship with the escape pod and all that shit being automatic. That would be tight as shit. I would love that. I would love that gameplay. I'm highly recommending and suggesting they do something like that. That would be fucking badass. The mess hall, we saw that in the Inside Star Citizen. That would be sweet. Let's see, what else do we have here? It should really have saddlebags on the outside to catch the ore. That would be a neat idea, man. That would be a neat idea. Like the more space you can fucking collect things in this ship, I think the better, dude. The hangar is what surprised me. That it was a little bit bigger than I initially had thought. To see the inside on the Inside Star Citizen show we just got done watching, to see the hangar was a little bit bigger than I thought. That was a nice surprise. There's a locker room, docking collar, and the docking collars should be interesting to see how that's going to come into play. Man, these docking collars, dude, like, fuck. I really want to see like how that's going to fit into like the overall like future and design and gameplay. These docking collars is such a great idea, but like I'm not quite sure exactly how they're going to play a role that really will have a utility that means something, you know? Like I just sometimes I wonder about these docking collars, you know? But like anyhow, next, I mean the ships being able to dock to one another, fascinating. I mean like, dude, I can't wait. Like you saw it initially a little bit when you saw a ship docking with a ship, when you saw the P-52 kind of dock with the Connie, you know, that type of gameplay, how the Merlin kind of lines up and docks with the Connie, that type of like, so you can see that the groundwork is set for this whole gameplay and how you're going to dock, you know, to other ships. I think they'll do the similar thing with these docking collars. So that would be like crazy coding. So that essentially, like when your ship docks with the docking collar, like it's one ship, and the physics grid has to expand to go from like 2 ships to 1 ship. How the fuck are they going to do that? That's going to be like pretty fucking amazing to see that work. Apollo, what is up? And you know they're going to work on it. How you doing, buddy? Good to see you, Apollo. Yeah, maybe a delivery ship dock as well. Techno's kind of doing a little bit of theory craft in here. Let's see here. It can dock to stations too, right? Could dock to stations as well, Shady, right? Yeah, like I mean, like just think about the amount of work that's going to take in the development side of things to actually like take 2 physics grids and then like make it 1 physics grid. That's going to be fucking insane. I believe they're like, that's what I think they're striving for. That's going to be fucking just insane, dude. Like, you know, things that are happening in this game don't get touted enough, man. You know, right now what we have in terms of the physics is pretty fucking amazing, if you ask me. All right, so what is next here? Let's get to the hangar deck. All right, so we got our mining controls down below up towards the front. Comfortably control the mining rig and tractor beam. We saw that. The gather quantanium, the mining system that gathers the quantanium via the mining arm. Then you got the medical facility, which is a huge bonus. It's a huge plus. Like, you know, really, this ship is doing a lot. The ship is performing almost every fucking role. Pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. Then you've got your elevator again. And then you've got your vehicle ramp, you know, for vehicles. So you got room for, how many vehicles did it say? 2? Like how many vehicles can we fit in here? That's going to be like some type of video. I smell it. The vehicle cargo bay, 252 SCU of cargo. So that's cool. Yeah, like these are questions I want to see being asked tomorrow. Yeah. And then the ship hangar, store ground vehicles or small ships. There you go. And finally, the viewing room, taking your view of the great unknown. So that's the luxury portion where all the action happens. You know, whenever I fly in the Odyssey, I'm in the viewing room. You understand what I'm saying? Bow, chicka down, bow. So there we go. Fun little ship talk. You know, we talk about this didn't recently go on sale, but the Ares, the Ion, and the Inferno, we've been talking about that ad nauseum. I really love the Ion. If I had to choose one over the other, I would choose the Ion. However, each performs a different role. So like here we got the, let's get this guy going here. You know, like I personally, I'm starting to like it more. Like the Ion itself, like in a fleet going after larger ships, dude, this thing's a beast, man. Thing's a beast. A lot of pilots telling me that it's harder to hit smaller targets. So this really isn't meant to go after smaller targets. It's meant to go after mid-sized to larger targets and take down their shields very fast. But if you do happen to hit smaller ships with it, they go boom. They go boom. The Inferno shreds and rips. And then when you talk about the Inferno, you got to talk about, you know, the amount of fucking rounds it goes through as well. But I think like the Inferno just is going to shred through ground units, whereas the Inferno is going to shred through, you know, air units. So it's just depending upon what role you're putting them in. But I think the Ares Ion is going to be an invaluable ship. I think this is going to be one of those ships where you're going to want one of these in your fleet if you're in a military or a merc org, or you're just going out to fucking kill. Like you're going out to fucking kill, you're bringing your Ares. You're bringing an Ares in a fleet, and you're going to need one. So, you know, as far as the Ares, I think I'm sold. I was always on the fence with this one. When I heard that they had nerfed it, initially when it first came out and people were bitching about it, they quickly changed that. And again, I talked about this on the morning show. So if you want more talk about the Ares, I already talked about this on one of the morning shows. But anyhow, really looking forward to see what ships out. I mean, like I used to be like, oh my God, another ship. I used to be that guy a long time ago. And then I just dropped that shit because I realized this is how they're funding the fucking game. So STFU DG. That's what I ended up realizing. It's like, this is how they're funding the game. And they're going to have to hold on to this for as long as they can, because these are the funds that are being used for the project. And this is the revenue that's being used directly for the project. Over 80% of the revenue is coming in right now. And that's lowballing it. I personally think it's more towards 85, 90, if you ask me. But I'll say 80% of revenue coming in right now are ship sales. So, there's going to be ships. There's always going to be new ships. There's always going to be more ships. I'm starting to get used to it. I'm starting to like it. Like personally, I like to this is why the game is different, right? You get to walk in the ship. You get to fly the ship. You get to see what each ship can do. And, oh, hey, look at Mom. Look at Mom and Zoe dancing. Welcome. Welcome to the fam. I don't think I'm going to say that name, though. I mean, I feel like that name with my mom and my daughter dancing right there, it's a little strange. But hey, we welcome you nonetheless. All right. Let's get to what's up, dude? Let's get to the next portion of our party, shall we? Next portion of the party.